I'm forward, pretty much forward. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm live from Crown Towers at Barangaroo, which of course is on the water. You can't. You probably can't. Can you see Opera House Harbour Bridge behind me? Or?
You can see your bed.
Well, I don't want to see my bed. There's not been anyone in that bed.
We can see some. I think some 3 or 4 girls in the reflection.
There's no girls in the reception. I had my nephew and my son.
Reflection. I'm saying reflection, not reception.
Oh God!
You
saw I did a preview video. Did you actually see my preview video?
I did.
Not me.
It's amazing. It's really impressive. So
where are you, Mohsin? Are you in Sri Lanka right now?
No, I'm back. Huh? I'm back to Brisbane.
Barangaroo was in Sydney, Australia.
No, he was asking me.
Oh.
I was Brahma was there for 6 days. Sri Lanka.
Well, so Paul Newman is the news looks the good. Himanshu Rohana saying, love it, absolutely good. So isn't it amazing how the game turns around so quickly?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Just to be playing a devil's advocate. If this was a test match in downtown India, somewhere in Chennai, and test match is finishing in 3 days, the whole world will be jumping up and down, blaming the pitch and the training conditions, and they'll be saying how bad is test cricket if it loses in 3 days. Just putting it out there.
Well, that was exactly what Baram said last night, didn't he?
I just
It's amazing.
Did exactly the same thing. It is hilarious.
And here, you read all the blogs, you read all the commentary that test match, and everyone's saying how good this test match has been and whatnot. It has been a good test match, but then you can't be biased on one side of test match being really good and thrilling, but then if this test match was in India, finishing everyone jumps up and down. Indian pitches get negative, they get fines. You know, it's just I just felt it hilarious when I was watching it last night. Sorry I couldn't join you last night, I was away. But yeah, I was looking at it and I'm going, how intriguing it is.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
There's an echo, honestly, Norman. I don't know.
There's a little bit of echo.
I'm hearing you clearly. So is it when I speak or is it more?
A little bit background noise.
Yeah. Okay, we'll continue on. Okay. All right. So yesterday we had a scorecard. Let's look at the scorecards. I mean, the two of them, both Blundell and Mitchell, incredible.
Absolutely.
Would you agree?
Absolutely. Both should get their 100 this morning. And as we progress into day 3, my prediction of going New Zealand being favourite for this match. It's got a background noise, Norman.
I have myself on mute. So it wasn't me.
Okay, now it's better. When you go on mute, that might be it. So stay unmuted. Stay unmuted.
All right. So let's look at the scoreboard now, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely. So
New Zealand are 4th for 236. Both Darryl Mitchell and Tony Blundell in their 90s, 97, 96. Quite incredible. What a turnaround. The first 4 batsmen, 14, 1, 15, 13. Awful scores. And then all of a sudden, these two have decided to bat long, and they put on a magnificent partnership. Partnership's 180.
That's right. Absolutely. It's amazing that now they're 227 in front. I think if they get another 80 odd runs, I think they'll clearly be the favourite for.
Come back in. Now is that better?
Brum's out.
He's out.
Yeah, he's dropped out.
All right. No, he dropped out. He told me because he had a bad line.
Right. Okay. No worries. So what I was saying is,
hang on, I got a doorbell. Hang on. Hang on a second.
No problem.
That's for the room. I don't know what to Come on, you're going to live television. Come on, say hello. Come on. What's your name? Come here. Come on. Show us what you got in your hand. He's just delivering some fruit bowl. A fruit bowl. I might just take a strawberry.
Champagne.
What was your name? Your name again?
Ivan.
Ivan. Now, Ivan's not staying the night. He's just giving me the food, right? There's nothing going on here, is there, Ivan?
It is. I'm glad that it's Ivan delivering it. It's not a couple of girls in bikinis coming in and feeding you the grapes and you being the king lying on the bed, because then the show would not have gone on.
Hang on. Oh. Tell me what you get the ball.
This one?
Look what he brought in the room.
Oh, champagne as well. There we go. It's keep getting better, eh?
I didn't order it.
It's just on the house.
He's bringing me glasses.
Jeez. You want to
Oh,
do
beautiful.
it? Just enjoy the fruit.
Thank you, Ivan. Ivan's not terrible. He's nice. Ivan is terrible. Ivan's nice. Well, there you go.
We'll let you settle in.
Most is clear. You're saying is okay, Norman, on your YouTube video too. Well, I don't know why. All right, let me try another platform. Hang on. I'm just going to try another platform. Hang on. Because I can't leave it. No, we'll continue on. Sorry. You can hear me clearly, can't you?
I can hear you clearly. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
yeah. So what I was saying is the continuation of the new ball dominant in this Test match, even in the third innings of the game, has continued with the first 4 wickets of New Zealand falling really quickly. They were just again swinging balls, bad shots, and it just continued on with that third innings. Williamson's form, we've spoken about pre-first day, is continued to be bad, and that's again, it's going to be a struggling point for New Zealand in this series if he doesn't come good. Their middle order looked a little bit vulnerable with Ross Taylor not being there, but I was so happy for these two guys to come good. They batted, they toughed it out, and they saw the new ball off, and then it was cash in time, and they played good shots. They were aggressive, and both should get their hundreds within the next first half an hour or first 15-20 minutes. And if New Zealand get another 80 or 100 runs, plenty of time in Test match. But if they get 300 plus, I think it would be tough for England to chase these runs down, because England batting again, that was the worry that I mentioned to you. They don't start their summer well, and they have continued bad form from West Indies as well. They didn't do really well in West Indies. They stuck to the same personnel from West Indies. But unfortunate part is the history of not starting English summer well continue. Even though we had our friend from England the other day mentioning that the county scores have been high-scoring grounds and the scores have been good, but even though when it comes to Test cricket, they use the darker Duke ball, cloudy weather, the pitch was not that bad, but it's just the conditions and whatnot help the seam bowling, swing bowling. And look at, we are in a situation where there's plenty of time left, and these two guys continue to score big, New Zealand at 350, game is over.
It's quite. There is an echo on mine. I don't know why I've got this echo. Shall I try? Let me have a look. The thing is, you would imagine that New Zealand can't lose.
You would think so, yes.
There's 2-0. So we'll cut out one. Is that better?
No, the other one was better for me.
The other one looked better.
You do look better. You got a nice jumper on, but I must say, good haircut.
I need a haircut or I have it?
No, I like you. I like this hair. But say something so I can test the echo.
Hello.
Yeah, echo, definitely.
I don't know why. Oh my God, that's it. Let me see what he's doing here.
Bram's testing the pitch.
Is that better? How is that better?
Say something.
Doesn't matter. We'll continue.
Yeah, okay.
All right. There's an echo. So what have to do with the echo? Why would there be an echo? I don't know. There's nothing unusual. Okay, we'll just continue. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, so Brown's comment is saying that the pitch is bad. It's the conditions have helped him as well. If you look at the pitch, there's not much grass on the pitch. But there obviously it's a combination of some good bowling, some bad shots, and obviously I'll stick to my comment. If this was the conditions in India where the ball's supporting, spinners are taking wickets, all of a sudden everyone would be jumping up and down and saying how bad this Test cricket is. That Test match is finishing in 3 days. You don't need 5-day Test matches. But here in England, everyone, all the media that I've read or heard people saying how good is this Test cricket, that the ball's swinging, seaming, and wickets are falling. 17 wickets in day one. It's you want tough cricket. You want really even battle with ball and bat. So whoever dominates one way or the other, it's always going to bring in questions from the viewership. So it has to be an even battle between ball and bat.
Yeah. My echo's gone, hasn't it? That's bizarre. Anyway, all right, I'm back now, guys. No echo. So Baramarani can rejoin if he wants to. The fact that we had 17 wickets fall on the first day, but we only had 7 on the second day, correct? The 3 that were tail-end batsmen of England, which understandably wasn't long. But then, and again, New Zealand was starting that early slide, but what a resurrection, seriously. Daryl Mitchell is really a refined, great quality batter. He has great determination. I'm very impressed with him, in fact. And Blundell, he can open, quite frankly. He's a bit of a McCullum.
I think he can. He's good enough. His technique is good enough. Both have played the ball late. The ball did stop swinging as much as it was in day 1, day 2. But even given that, the pressure of putting a partnership together when you're four down with the new ball, and obviously Test match online, both of them showed guts and quality of their batsmanship. The partnership has taken the New Zealand to a point where I think the New Zealand is this Test match is for New Zealand to lose. They should not lose from here. It's only if they really bowl well and complete this partnership. There's no reason why they can't win this Test match and go 1-0 up.
Now, I'm not trying to brag, but I did say New Zealand would win this Test match, but I fear that it'll be such a bounce back from England, and the McCullum factor and Ben Stokes factor will be at its fever pitch next match. And England are traditionally to lose this Test match.
Yeah, well, that's right. And as you refer back to my comment on day one, I said England don't start summer well, and the history for last few years have been that they don't start their summer well. I don't know what it is. It is just in recent past their first test has been poor. So they have continued on where they had a perfect opportunity with New Zealand really grounded with 130 on the board. They could have scored 300 on this pitch, and then there was hard for New Zealand to come back. But unfortunately, they didn't take the opportunity. And the one thing that I also mentioned the other day was it will take a little bit of time for English fans and for us watching Test cricket to see the real transformation from McCullum's side and from Ben Stokes' captaincy side, because obviously it's very fresh, very new. So it will take a little bit of time. I think McCullum factor we'll start to see towards the end of the series or towards the India Test match and carry forward, because I know when England were transforming for their white ball cricket, and it took them a little bit of time to gain that momentum to start winning white ball cricket, start being a contenders for World Cup and whatnot. So I think red ball cricket is similar. Their county still playing too much white ball cricket, as we discussed the other day with the 2020 and then the 100. So the priority has to be put on back to the domestic circuit to play competitive red ball cricket to be able to transform that in a test match.
But the reality is, you've got two batsmen here that have actually been able to resurrect the innings, gain momentum, and now they're both potentially going to score centuries.
Absolutely. And how well they're batted.
Well, there was a hint of that in the first innings, though. When Mitchell and Blundell were together, they were looking okay. And even de Grandhomme as well.
So you see a bit of a tradition on these 3 days, or trend, is that new ball has swung enormously. All 3 innings it has swung, but then it had died down. The effect of swing has died down a little bit, and the factor that the spinner has not come in play, the replacement spinner, unfortunately, they've got in a leg spinner in place instead of Leash. It hasn't been effective. He hasn't been able to turn the ball or hold one end. Both the New Zealand batters have taken on to him. They've attacked him, and they're trying to hit more down the ground, which has been very successful, instead of trying to play cross-bat shots and whatnot. And that would be a factor in 4th innings, how well Ijaz Patel will bowl. He's bowled well in India. He's known to turn the ball. So I'm looking forward to 4th innings when Ijaz will bowl as well. And the other factor with New Zealand bowling would be Southee. He's now number 2 on the list of most wicket by any international bowler behind Richard Headley. He's only behind 2 wickets. Headley's taken 26 wickets at Lords and top the international fast bowlers, and Southee 24, just 2 behind. So I reckon Southee will surpass Richard Headley to be the leading wicket taker at Lords.
It's amazing, isn't it, how and then now Southee. And not other bowlers. International bowlers, correct?
International.
So who's got the most? Anderson?
Anderson.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah.
Look, Anderson has to go down in history as one of the best swing bowlers.
No doubt. I have no doubt. I mentioned that I liked him from the word go when he started to make an impact as a young 18-year-old bowler coming in with the blonde hair and a bit of a character about him. And he's 39 and still doing well. He got 4 far in first innings, whereas I reckon he can play till next Ashes.
Now I'm 16 fourth up. That may explain this echo. I can't otherwise explain why.
I think that's a very bad logic, Norman.
Oh, well, you'll hear me twice. Now, Steve R. Read that out, Motion.
Sorry, man.
Can you read it?
Steve, yeah.
Please read.
Steve Smith will play on Tuesday in T20. Eagerly waiting to see. Yeah, it'd be interesting because Steve Smith hasn't been in the T20 plans for Australia in recent times. So if he plays on Tuesday, that tells me that they want him to play the World Cup and they want him to gain some form. He's not being in 2020 form. He didn't get picked in IPL. So it'd be interesting what selectors and management are thinking around T20 plans for the World Cup. In my opinion, I think Steve Smith will not be in the plans for the World Cup. But then they want to give him the opportunity to see if he can be an impact player in the middle order.
I uploaded a video of the batting practice in Sri Lanka. They show Steve Smith. Cole Hitchcock, he's the media manager in Australia. Showed that. I don't know. I'm a bit disillusioned with Steve Smith. It's been a long time now since I've really seen him perform in his natural best in any format. I still don't think he's recovered from the sand. Still don't.
And the concussion.
And the concussion.
Made an impact. So I think both Steve Smith and Warner probably will make a call on their white ball career post the World Cup in Australia. I think they'll probably give up the 2020 side of things. They might continue to play one day and test match. I don't see Steve Smith carrying on being available for Australia 2020 past this World Cup. I don't see him in that plan. I think he will continue with the one day and the test match. And it's good for us in the Sixers because he will be available for us to play Sydney Sixers.
Oh, for sure.
Which we tried last year, that we tried three times with Cricket Australia, trying to get him play. He was available, he was ready to play, and Australia didn't allow him being a replacement player when we had COVID and injury.
Yeah. I just don't think he's got the mental aptitude now to handle what's gone through his hands, so to speak. Warner doesn't seem to recover. He was better than IPL. But when they're playing for Australia together is when I feel that the dynamic of it. And I still think Pat Cummins is turning to Smith too often. And I think there's an issue. He did pretty well in Pakistan. I'll give him that. But he's got to stay away from Smith. I just don't think there's enough evidence that moved on. What do you think, Mose?
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. It's the demand of the cricket at the moment. I saw someone commenting he's quite young. He's only 33. Fair enough. He is quite young. He's lost 1 year to cricket as well with the ban and whatnot. I think his mental strength has been tested since he's come back, as you pointed out. His technique is still good enough, but I think it's still the demand of the three formats and whatnot. I think it's going to show on players in last couple of years, especially when there's COVID restrictions, the bubbles and all that stuff. It has taken a toll on a lot of players, especially in Australia as well, because restrictions in Australia have been very, very strict compared to the world. I think the top, you'll see that in next year or two, a lot of players will start choosing or dropping off at least one format or the two. It's becoming more traditionally normal now. But yeah, I like Steve Smith, but I think his 2020 days are close to notice for international. He'll play domestic, he'll play Big Bash, he'll play other leagues wherever he can. But I think he'll after the World Cup, he'll probably say that he's only available for one day and Test cricket. That's my feeling.
Yeah, I think Australia got from the way that they've done things. Pat Cummins is a start. but there's a lot more the batting line change for the longer term.
There's a lot of youngsters that have put their hand up. Tim David has been spoken recently quite a lot. He's done his trade in India and Pakistan, and now he's doing it in England as well. So he's another one that you can slot into middle order. He can hit a big ball. He can bowl some off spin as well. Good fielder. You know, there's a lot of impact player now in the youth that you can start to slide in. Josh Inglis, another one. McDermott, another one. You got Philippi. You know, there's few players that have started to come. Cam Green did well in Pakistan as well, so I like him as well as an all-rounder. You've got Mitch Marsh. Maxwell is still there. Whether Finch will continue after the World Cup, I doubt it. So there's a lot of things that, you know, Aaron Hardy is the one that's been spoken quite highly by Adam Bojic.
Who was the last one he said?
Aaron Hardy from WA.
Right.
Yeah, he's another good young upcoming all-rounder. We had him in Australia A team. He's another good kid. He can hit the big ball. He can bowl 140 clicks, heavy ball. So he's another one that, you know, they're taking him into Sri Lanka as an Australia A tour as well. So he's one to watch coming up. So there's a lot of good things in the middle order spot where you see Steve Smith bat. I think it's going to be challenging for him to try and make himself available international.
But okay, I'm going to say something rather crude here, but Steve Smith's worth probably about 40 million. Warner around the same amount of money. I actually think mentally that their heart is not truly in it anymore. They may not agree with that comment, but I truly think that their heart's not in it anymore. And I say that with great cautiousness. I'm not meaning to be rude, but I just don't think their heart's in it. The desire's not there. It's not the same two people. And really, the time that Sandpapergate occurred, they changed. And for the worst, and they thought they could get back in easily, and they have not been able to readjust. Justin Langer didn't allow it. Langer and Payne were really at loggerheads with Smith and Warner. They thought by getting rid of Langer and Payne that would settle down. I'm not saying that Smith and Warner necessarily were the only ones responsible for both Langer and Payne going, but I believe they contributed to it.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Would you agree?
There's a contributing factor there as well, but I think the Cricket Australia have moved forward. I think they've made Langer's still bitter. He was on Twitter the other day. He had a talk the other day, and he was still not happy, which I can understand from his perspective. He's been treated harshly or not harshly. We can go both ways, but
well, Nick Hockley's been a great thing for them. I think he's a very level head. He's not arrogant. He's I know everything. I'm in control. I'll do what I want. There's no nepotism about the way he performs. He's a polished individual, and they've done great with him. But it's not that what I'm talking. I'm talking about the engine room of the team. I think now that we've got Andrew McDonald, who is well liked, who does favour, not dramatically, but slightly the Finches and the Maxwells because of his Victorian connection. That's okay. But I think that it's better for the team. And I think ultimately Smith and Warner have lost their so-called power base.
Yep.
If that makes any sense.
No,
I think Cummins now realised, hey, I did it in Pakistan. I can handle this. I can handle being captain and lead the team. And he's not relying on Smith and Warner as much. You'll see that happen more and more, which will allow a transition from those players altogether.
The only thing that I add to this comment is that with Cummins being captain, all three demanding formats, how much he will be available for all three formats. Finch gone, I think they'll have a new T20 captain come next year. But Cummins being captain at Red Bull and one day, how much he will be available at all three formats, his workloads and everything will come in play. So that's the only limitations that I see going forward. Obviously, Ashes next year, World Cup this year, it's going to be interesting. Just to update your audience and yourself, Norman, there's a bit of drizzle in Lords.
Right.
So it'd be interesting again if the ball started to hoop again, because first day, if you remember, there was a cloudy condition, there was overcast. It helped both Anderson and Co to swing the ball corners. Whether it will help New Zealand bowlers and English bowlers in now. So it'd be interesting to see. It's only 11. What's that? Local time. It's about 21 minutes to start.
Yep, 21.
Yeah. So it's no more rain on the radar, but it's been drizzling in the morning. So it'd be interesting to see what does that mean. The forecast is overcast.
So Himanshu Rahel is wondering why I'm not reading comments. It's not a day for the comments. I can't read every single question.
Fair enough.
Okay, we're looking at those comments. Look, there's openers coming out of our ears there. Okay, back to the match.
Yes.
New Zealand.
We'll talk about Australia. I think it's not long that the series with Sri Lanka starts, so I think everyone's eager to talk about how the Australia is shaping up and whatnot. I think we'll talk about Australia and Sri Lanka in due time. I think everyone's keen to get a comment or opinion about how the Australia is shaping up going forward.
Yeah, it's quite incredible. I'm so frustrated because I would love to be in Sri Lanka. I would have loved to have been, and more so India. I would love to float around the subcontinent. And my mother's one good reason. But next year, I will make something happen where I can do it.
No, it'd be good.
So most are you a support staff?
Yes. Performance analyst with the Sydney Sixers.
Yeah.
I've done 5 years with Sydney Thunder as well, but then I gave up when the bubble and the corona started. So I gave up Sydney Thunder because of the bubbles and workloads and whatnot. So yeah.
It's as I said, and I know I was Sydney Sixers, which is actually Cricket New South Wales. Let it be truly known. Cricket New South Wales controls both Sixers and Thunder, don't they? Moses.
Yes, sorry, mate, I didn't hear you.
I said Cricket New South Wales controls both Sydney Sixers and Sydney Thunder.
All the so-called franchise teams are basically held by the organisations behind them. So Scorchers is by WA, Brisbane Heat by Queensland, and so on and so forth. So New South Wales control both Sydney Sixers and Thunder. Hi, Bram. Good to see you again.
Hi, Mohsin. Hi, Norman. Good to be back.
It's nice and sunny out at your end.
Yeah, I was earlier sitting in a restaurant drinking tea. So then there was a lot of people came behind me. So I thought it makes no sense in joining. So I finished my tea and came back to my house.
At least you're having tea. Norman's having champagne.
You didn't say it, did you?
Bram missed out.
Norman, I don't know why, but I'm still getting very bad echo from your end.
It's all right, Bram. Keep talking. It's all right. Go on.
Okay.
So Subhash Chandra Bharat is saying pick between Ben Stokes. His birthday, knock or Headingley knock? Headingley knock for me.
In fact, for me, Ben Stokes, the immediate remembrance is the 2016, I think the T20 World Cup. Was it 2016? Yeah.
That's right.
Where Carlos Brathwaite hit him for very bad. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Second thing is the Headingley. Yeah.
That's right. But then,
have you got some children?
First impact that I got from Ben Stokes was his 100 in WA when he really stand up against the Aussies when England was just on a slide in Ashes. So I think Stokes has got a lot to offer. His leadership will be tested in this series. Obviously, it's too quick for us to make any comment because it's his first Test match. But I think he will be tested in this summer, especially when India is also there as well. So India, South Africa, New Zealand, it's good summer, and then next year with the Ashes. So I actually look forward to it. With him and Callum being very aggressive in his approach, I think it would be a good combination.
Go and speak, Bram.
No, as I said, for me, in case of Ben Stokes, it's more of his infamous than famous thing that comes to my mind. So, if someone says Ben Stokes, that's the first thing comes to my mind is Carlos Brathwaite. Then yes, is Headingley knock with I think Jack Leach, right? Was the partner with him, and I especially remember that LBW decision when Nathan Lyon was bowling. And he was plumb out, but they did not have. The umpire gave it not out, but they did not have any reviews left. So that thing's what immediately pops up to my mind.
It looks like the rain is around and Lord, but they're saying it should still start on time.
That's right. Yeah, they've got the covers removed. So they only had a small covers to cover the main strip, and they've got that removed, and they should be starting on time. That's what the comments I'm getting.
So Human is saying, Baram, how are you, mate? It's been a while.
Yeah, thanks, Human.
I'm going to call him Human because like Norman or Imran.
Like Turkey changing its name to Turkey, something like that.
I mean, really, my name's Norman Khan.
Norman, yeah, that's right.
Norman Khan.
You look like a Pathan anyway, Norman.
Like a Bhutan?
Yeah, Pathan, like
Norman.
Like a Lord Buddha.
That's it.
Spider-Man, Norman.
Because Bhutan means something very bad in Italian.
That's it. We won't go there. No.
Yeah, so okay. Thursday 09, he's come back. He hasn't been here for a while. He goes both. It's probably
honestly, Norman, what is happening? I'm getting echo from my voice. I'm getting echo from you, and Mohsin voice is no echo, but it's very low. That's what happening. So it's very difficult.
Makes it half the fun, guys. Half the fun. Why would we have it any other way?
Norman, just because you're in Crown and drinking champagne and having fruits, we don't have to deal with your echo.
No, but Norman, the main question is, what are you doing there? Why are you over there?
Look at him. Look at him.
For me, my answer. Baram, you want to know my answer? For me to know and for you to find out.
I'm sure there'll be some party on tonight. I won't want to see the pictures that you post after party.
Wow. It's my birthday, not today, but it's coming up.
Oh, is that the early birthday gift?
Yes, kind of. Today's June 4, correct? So it's next Friday.
So you will be what, 42, 43?
I'll give you 32 or 33 in a minute, Bram.
35.
I'll give you 32 or 33 in a minute, Bram. I'll give it to you. You don't ask a man his age. You don't ask a woman her age either.
That's true.
Okay.
I'm old enough to know better.
Yeah, that's why I said 42, 43. That's what you look.
I'm old enough to know better, but I'm still doing something wrong. Okay? How dare you? Well, aren't we here to talk about cricket? Why are we talking about me and where I am? Do I ask what you're doing in your room Mosin or Humam? Are you kind of a tree? What are you doing are you doing a wee on a tree, or what are you doing?
Norman, I'm getting too much distortion from your side.
That's good.
I-
Human, look at Humani. We're making him anti-bot. Anti-bot. What the hell is that, Human? Anti-bot. What the hell is that? Are you for real?
Well,
Anyway.
that's what he means. He is not a robot, so he's a human.
He's a human.
Human.
That's it.
Oh, human.
And we've got Steve R. There we are, Moses. Question.
Yeah. Look, there's a couple of ways to start with. Obviously, now a lot of universities are offering data science, sports analyst courses. So I did my master's in sports coaching back in 2005, 2006. And I was actually coaching at that time as well. So the systems come in place past the 99 World Cup 2000. A lot of international teams started to use the systems what American baseball teams were using. So that's where I got my interest into analyzing the games and looking at how we can improve apart from the coaching. So now there's so many platforms available, there's so many opportunities available, but I think the start could be to getting into yourself in some sort of a course towards performance analysis. There's diplomas, there's certificate courses, there's degrees as well. So yeah, explore your options. I know Sydney Union University of New South Wales are offering, Queensland University is offering, depending where you are.
It's excellent. It's very impressive, Mosin. Really, it is. So, what's Human saying? I've got some catching up to do. For what?
Champagne, I guess.
Oh, we'll be catching up with some champagne. And some grapes will be held at my forehead.
Oh, then it has to be some young, attractive ladies, Norman. Yeah, exactly. Don't spoil it for us.
Oh, I'm not going to spoil it.
No. I think
really,
game's about to start.
Qualifications in cricket these days are the thing. A Master's of Sports Coaching, a PhD, which Buri Matunda's got in cricket, sports, a PhD. He's written books with great detail. A lot of very impressive. Ram's got a PhD in picking his nose at the moment.
I have a question here, Mohsin. Like in a data analyst for when you take about cricket, what I understand there would be like two streams, right? One would be like for media, like basically for viewership when you are putting up stats and everything, and one would be like for teams where you are analyzing your own players, what are their weaknesses and where they need to improve, and the other way you are analyzing the competition, like what are their weak points. And so how are those two different, or they are exactly like exactly the same, or there is some kind of a difference in those two? One is for the media centric for the public, and one is for very specific for the players.
That's right. There's two feeds. One is called the dirty feed. Dirty feed means it's absolutely raw feed that we get in the change rooms or in our laptops. Whereas the media feed is cleaned up. There's obviously ads and graphics and whatnot get put on. So we need the dirty feed because we do all our graphics on our laptops. And all the broadcasters are now used to providing us the live dirty feed from the truck itself before they process it. So we are actually, media feed is delayed for a few seconds. So we get nearly the live, what you see at the ground, and the media feed is delayed a couple of seconds or a few seconds. And then obviously, as you said, we do put our graphics, we do analyze as the live game goes on. And then the post-game, from those feeds, we do the opposition analysis and look at the trends, the patterns, the stats, and everything. So, yeah,
look, Sebastian, we can't take comments all the time. Okay, your comment is can a depleted Indian squad win against a full strength South African T20 squad? Of course they can. Okay? I would argue that's something that India's completion is irrelevant. They've got 4 teams they could put up for their best. I really think that.
And if you say right now, India is like fielding the best, I would say, performing players.
Mm.
Yeah, this is. I'm not poor. Thank you very much. It's very nasty.
You haven't read many comments, no? They've been flooding. The comments have been flooding in, and you haven't read many. So
Stark on fire.
Yeah, people like their comments to be read.
that's right, and that's where your viewership is. You should read the comments, no? Just because you're having a champion in Crown, it doesn't mean that you can't read comments.
I tell you what, I can't get any right here. We've got Pragathi Rahela. Is he related to? I'm guessing Pragathi Rahela is related to Himanshu Rahela, or is it the same person? Subhash Chandra Bhagat. I normally answer all your questions. We've actually talked about things, though. And Satvik Bagara, one of my favourites. My favourite has been saying that on my one record. I agree.
I think that was good news. I remember that. His 100, that was the match winning 100.
It was such a difficult match. He did such a great job, and he never looked like not getting there. He was getting there no matter what.
That's true.
And he made leaps back with it.
That inning and Kevin Pedersen's 100, that reminds me that, when you have that eagerness to win the game for your country and really do well, I think it is the case. I would like to do Ben Stokes well this series because he's a New Zealander, he's a Kiwi. So doing well against New Zealand, being a captain of England, I think that would be an extra spark in his motivation to do well and get England over the line. But I think they're behind the 8 ball in this test match.
Yep, I agree with that. Okay, well, we're getting close to the start. I wonder what the visuals are showing us at the moment. On Foxtel.
Big covers on. Big covers and the lights on.
So if it's raining, there would be clouds for sure. So will we see a cloudus and burst?
Lords tend to have that period of overcapacity.
Yeah.
I'm going to get Star Trek. Okay. What happened to Coley and Wilson? They had the chance, their technique to get runs down. No, it's mental. It's all up here. Mental for Coley, mental Williamson, and Smith. All 3 of them.
I think Kohli, someone mentioned I was watching in Indian media, they were saying Kohli probably be better off taking a little bit of break. And obviously, with some of the games that he can take a bit of break, I think it is very mental for him, especially when he was removed as a captain as well. I think, as we were talking about the other day, some people respond really well to being not captain and not leader, and some people respond well to being, on the other side of the fence. But I think, from my perspective, Kohli is probably still he hasn't responded well of not being the leader of the team. I think he would have still liked to be captain. But I think he's getting over it. He started to get a little bit of runs towards the end of IPL. Williamson has been struggling with his injuries. His elbow has been long term. If you remember, Tendulkar had an injury with the elbow, tennis elbow. He had a year and a half of really bad health, and he couldn't even hold it back. The injuries, I think, for Williamson is causing a lot of trouble. They asked him before this test match whether he can last 5 days, and he said he's ready to go, but it still clearly looks that he's still not 100%.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah, so big covers are on and lights are on, so there might be a bit of delay.
Norman, Mohsin, I'll be logging off. So catch you maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, bye everyone.
Stop doing it.
Bye Shubhas, bye Human, bye Steve.
Talk to you later.
Gotcha. Thanks, Bram. So he's told to call Patterson. Okay. Start bowls to that'll be impressive, but it won't happen for a while.
Yeah. Be very interesting.
England is better than Pakistan.
Probably at their home conditions they are, because obviously the conditions suit them. If you look at England's series against West Indies recently concluded, they should have dominated. West Indies is not really back to where their best is. They should have dominated in West Indies and they didn't. So that tells me that there's still a lot of work needs to be done in English Test cricket team. Whereas New Zealand, the way they've come back this Test match, it is phenomenal. The way they stuck to their guns, they stuck to their strength, safety, Bolt, Grandom, and their middle order batting. I think the New Zealand's still really good team, home and away.
Although it's interesting, they didn't rely on a Conway or a Williamson or Latham for that matter. It was Mitchell. Now he looks like a really deep player, and he's very smart. And Blundell's a great batsman as well. Collins the Grandin got 4. He could come out now and score another.
Exactly. And that's what the worry is. If these two guys get out even earlier, then they've got two big hitters coming following these guys. England can also be behind 350 in no time, and then they have a day and a half to save the Test match, which is going to be really hard on these conditions.
Sebastian, it's an amazingly good inning. Considering how all 20 batsmen failed in the first innings, and even in the third innings, yet to come out and score second. And I think Mitchell took the leading hand in this part somewhat as well.
Yeah. I'll give you an interesting stat. No team has won a Test match being 4 for 12. Teams have won the Test match being 3 for 12, but no team have won a Test match. So this would be first for New Zealand if they do that. They were 4 for 12 in the first innings, and if they come back to win this Test match, this will be the first.
It's almost like this. It's like a tsunami slowly happening. The 132, we all thought that was just rubbish. It seemed to be just after the open turn, and the turn and turn. Marvelous game. It's a marvelous game. Really.
And even English, if you look at English opening batting, they were going all right. They were 2 for 80 odd. All of a sudden, all out 130, 140. It just shows that New Zealand were never out. They'd never let England back in the game. 2 for 80 odd, 2 for 90 odd even, and then all of a sudden, all out 141. It was a bit of a character from New Zealand bowlers.
Now look at this. Clearly, this beat of New Zealand beat England. England will have a difficulty beating India. I think it's a fair comment.
It is fair comment. I think we always knew that English Test cricket is not at its best, and they will struggle to beat good teams. And even in this Test match, even in West Indies tour, Ashes, it's been continuing. The effects of change will come, but it will take time. So we have to be patient with English change in Test cricket. We've got to see that a long term. It's not going to turn around in one series, as people might be expecting it. Rob Key is a very good administrator. His reputation is really good in England, and also we know the style of cricket that McCullum plays, and Ben Stokes will follow. It will take time, and I think the right time will be Ashes next year when Australia will tour England, and I think that's what they will be targeting. That's what the end goal for McCullum and co would be, to keep the Ashes in England.
So are you suggesting that Anderson and Broad will be there for that time?
I'd like to see that. There's no reason why Anderson, for his fitness, for his ability, the only thing that will beat him is his desire, whether he wants to play that Ashes or not. And I think he will. He would want to play that Ashes. And of course, Jofra Archer, Wood, Boaks, all of these guys are really still good contenders. And I like to see Archer being fully fit, firing, bowling fast, and same with Wood. So do you have good support? The only thing they're missing at the moment is good quality spin.
The reality is, Jofra Archer's not coming back in any hurry. I don't think it'll take a monumental effort. Thursday, Pakistan with none for thrill, 3 for none versus England won a match. True.
That's right. They were none for 3, and they were. As I said, the stats that I looked at yesterday was they were 3 for 12. So anyone has not won a match from 4 for 12 and won a match.
Paul Lawson says, "What bad haircuts? What, me and Mosen? Is that what you're saying, Paul Lawson? Show us your haircut."
Thank you.
Kohli is the best fitness and gym man on earth. He certainly is. He's done a great thing for India. Imagine if Renshaw hit so many centuries against Sri Lanka side. So what happens? Well, he would be in the side.
I've been supporting Renshaw. I've been dealing with Renshaw since he was under 19. I like his attitude. I like the way he's approaching the game. I want him to do well and come back in the Aussie team.
Yeah, he's just been a bit he's come back in the short form of way, hasn't he? Maybe his way. How can Australia compete against Sri Lanka with only one spin on it? It's a great question.
It is a good question. Very good question. I said that to Norman the other day as well. It's not going to be easy for Australia. It's not going to be a walkover. I know Schwepson is being very new, tested, but it's not going to be a walkover. They have to play spin well, and they have to get the team. They have to get 10 wickets. Nathan Lyon, apart from the one Test match in Pakistan, he hasn't done really well in recent past with his spin bowling. So it's going to be a challenge.
Absolutely. So Australia, Pakistan, and ODIs, Pakistan 34. That's pretty bad stats for Pakistan. Stokes batting at 6 from 5. Your course. Well, he's a captain. He probably doesn't want to take the central position. He's probably better for him to be a bit lower, I think.
Yeah.
He's more of a real action batter. Australia wins 150 England. That's pretty notable.
And in recent times, it's been very balanced. Like Australia have won a lot at home, and England have won a lot at home as well. So I think next Ashes with this new change in management, I think would be interesting.
Yep, absolutely. What's this about? Cacao, orange and almond.
You're just rubbing it in to your audience and us as well.
Orange and almond. And I've got cacao cookies.
Stop eating cookies, Norman. You don't need.
I thought it was champagne. I never heard of it before. Buddha Magoo. Butter Magoo. I've heard of Mr. Magoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back in the ice, it goes. Sorry, can't get drunk. Of course, I've got a plate. I have a banana. No, I'll eat a banana. Right?
You are showing off, Norman.
I'll get.
Yeah, almonds probably good for you. You don't need cookies. All right, Norman, I've got to leave.
All right, you just done it now.
Yeah, I think there'll be a little bit delay in the start, but I think the test match will start to wrap up today. We can probably catch up tomorrow to see how the test match is in shape tomorrow.
Can I ask you one last question?
Yeah, sure.
You've got Mark Taylor at the moment commentating with Michael. I can't understand why Mark Taylor's there at all. I'm sorry. And more so, they had a lady. What's her name? The one that's played for Australia, who was on the chairmanship for Australia.
Talking about, yep.
I'm going to be rude here. I find her voice very and awful to listen to.
I was surprised why didn't they have their English ladies?
Isha
is fantastic. She is fantastic. She reads the game well and she comments really well on the game.
Absolutely.
So I think Isha's one that they need to get on board.
But that girl, what's her name? I have to turn the volume down. Someone told that's the person. I'm sorry, I don't want to be nasty, but she's extremely operative. in a way of and it's very. I think her analysis is a bit off. Something's not right about her commentator.
I think it's not about the voice. I think it's her analysis is a little bit off, and she's very she comes across very odd in terms of her comments. Reading the game is not that well, so that's why it's very putting off. I don't mind Mark Taylor. He's been in England. He was visiting there and whatnot.
No, but why is he in England versus New Zealand? We need to have Ian Smith or someone like that. Not Mark Taylor.
There's Daryl Tuffy commentating, but not. I didn't see Smith commenting. He might be delayed. And they used to get Ian Bishop. He's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Get Bishop on. Get a Holding on. They're fantastic. But
I just think Mark Taylor was phenomenal with Australian television.
yeah.
Not a Richie Benno. He doesn't. If he's meant to replace Shane Warne, he's not doing a good job.
No, he's not doing a good job. No. It's
But-
disappointing.
Mel Jones, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say I'm the best in the world. I'm not saying that. But it is off. Is that off? I have to put her off.
Yeah, it is.
That's not good.
And that's why I was hoping that they would have Isha Gua, because she's fantastic. Her read of the game is really good, and she comments well. She doesn't overpower. You know, when someone starts talking and starts overpower, she just comments to the game rather than overpowering the voice. So I think
Mel Jones will say, still ramble on about something. Delivery's taking place. She's still talking. That's a great side of a bad commentator.
That's true. That's very true. You got to let the game be spoken about rather than telling stories. So yeah, that's what I don't like.
No, Lisa's like another one who tries very hard, gets all her facts right, but she also rambles past the point of the bowl.
Yeah.
Middle sentence, she'll finish the sentence rather than the bowl. I find that awful.
Very hard. Yeah, very hard to watch the game and listen at the same time.
Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right.
And I'm not espousing that I'm the most know-it-all of all people, but I do know how to present a commentary box, and I'm afraid that's not happening. And you can't learn it. I believe you either have it or you haven't got it. You have it or you haven't got it. You don't become a commentator. You either are one.
It's natural. Yeah, it's natural. Yeah.
Sorry.
Someone's mentioned that she's working for BBC. Isha Gua it is. So hopefully the Sky Sports drop her. Yeah.
But Mel Jones has, mate, how's it going? Oh, yeah, not bad. Good delivery. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, it's awful. It's awful.
Very bogan. Yeah.
Very poor. I'm sorry. It's poor English. It's hard to understand. It's hard to hear.
Yeah, it is.
I'm being very vocal because someone's got to be.
Yeah, as an audience, we have a right to say.
Yeah, and I'm not being nasty for any reason other than sheer facts. I love the sport.
Yeah, exactly.
My favourite comment. Okay, well, let's go, Moses. You go.
No worries, mate. I'll enjoy your stay in Crown. Enjoy your champagne, and I'll speak to you. Are you still here, or are you back home tomorrow?
I'm on tomorrow. I haven't got it.
Are you still in Crown tomorrow?
Not tomorrow night.
No. Okay. Well, have fun, mate, and I'll speak to you. Thanks to your audience as well. I'll catch up with you all next time.
Thanks, Moses. I'll tell you beforehand.
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk after. No worries, mate. Thanks.
All right. Thank you very much. Moses has been always welcome here, mate. Knowledgeable man.
Thanks, guys.
Not great looking, but that's all right.
Not as good as you.
Of course not. How could you be?
Exactly. All right, bud. Talk to you.
So, ciao. Well, there you go, guys. You got me now without any echo, haven't you? So at least the echo's gone. I don't think that Sri Lanka will beat Australia. Pugati, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, but it's going to be exciting to watch them. Izzy Westbury is a good comment. She's not bad, Paul. I'd agree with that. You really think Pugati really think that we're going to lose against Sri Lanka? No, it's a goal. I don't think so. I think Australia will win, but you just don't know. Sri Lanka got to have to get their act together. We've got Mark Taylor talking with Mike Atherton, trying to fill a time slot that unfortunately is not providing any cricket. We saw the women's cricket last night, where both Sri Lanka and Pakistan absolutely pulverised them again. Pakistan's on another level at the moment. Sri Lanka's relying too heavily on Atapatu, and she's not performing well enough, and she's not a good captain. She should not be captaining that Sri Lankan team, period. I'm sorry. Someone will beat us for mark my words. I am marking words. Rowan Coley, Sri Lanka's a dangerous American. I think there's an element of that, certainly. And I think there's an element of that. An element of that, guys. So my favourite commentators. Mike Atherton, I rather think's good. I mean, Michael Holding's one of the better ones for sure. I don't mind Ian Botham. Even like Jeff Thompson, when he would talk with a lot of sex. Shane Warne was amazing, but he's passed away now. Richie Benaud, amazing, passed away. Ricky Ponting's a bit monotonous in his speech patterns, but he's obviously knows the game. Michael Hussey's pretty good. Simon Cavendish is quite pleasant, especially on ABC radio. He certainly seems to have worked well there. It's a sad time for commentary. It's not as good. Isha Gua surprises me no end. She's got great skills. She's got a very pleasant voice. I mean, she's good looking as well, but that's not the relevant part of her ability to do her work. But I'm afraid Mel Jones is not. She's too ockerish for my liking. And it's not male, female, it's nothing to do with that, or race or colour. It's just purely, she's too ockerish. It's something not right there with her voice, and it's just not pleasant to hear. And she just carries on too much. And I'm being honest, I wish she would listen to someone like me. Not that I'm her expert to judge, but I don't think she's got the right voice, to be honest with you. Anyway, Australia are 5 times World Cup champions of cricket. Of course they are, Ron. Thursday, Ireland beat South Africa, so that's a bit of a boil over. Certainly is. Harsha Borgley, or you don't like him. Harsha Borgley, now, he's very knowledgeable. Sometimes he puts on too much knowledge, which means it becomes a bit too heavy-handed. But he's proven to be pretty good, so I don't think he's a problem at all. But I don't think Ravi Shastri is brilliant. Deep Desgupta is brilliant. Gavaskar certainly is, I think, a good commentator. There's some very good. Where is the ice cream, Norman? Well, you got this here. Got the orange in there. We got probably ice cream. Someone else. Another little chocolate. Now that you've talked about, Ravi Shastri speaks beautifully. You're kidding me, Sebastian? He has a tremendous voice, brilliant voice, and he's very knowledgeable, and I really like listening to him. Look at that. Look at that chocolate. Look at that. I have to do that now. Oh, I shouldn't open this. I shouldn't have opened this, guys. You know I shouldn't have opened it. So we're down to, we've got Nasser Hussain on it. Hussain, I'm pretty much a fan of him. I think he knows, he speaks quite well. It's about being a bit more humble, a bit more sort of subdued. I would prefer that, and that would be my go. I think there need to be a little bit less talk, a bit more of a rapport between people. I don't mind listening to, Mike Gatting on his day is certainly good, and you've got Jeffrey Boycott's a lot of fun. David Lloyd's extremely funny. Kerry O'Keefe, very funny. Max Walker was very good too, but he never didn't last that long, as long as he should have. But India, my favourite breakfast, not chocolate, egg hoppers. India, the land of 1.41 billion. Look, that's huge. Covers are coming off. Richie Benaud was a great cover. Richie Benaud was just sublime. With Bill Laurie and even Tony Gregg, that was a phenomenal comparison. That's a phenomenal thing. They really did sort of position commentary at another level. But some of the old commentators back in the day, McGilvray, I should say. So the covers are off. We're showing the ground there. The things are in motion. We're going to have some cricket very, very shortly. New Zealand are 4 for 236. And of course, the 4 for 236 with Blundell and Mitchell, 97 and 1997 respectively. It's great position. Bill O'Reilly set the atmosphere. He did say, "Gone, he's gone." Covers coming off here. The rain appears to have eased a bit. We should have an update soon. Yeah, I think we're play to start at 11:30. So In 11 minutes' time, the game will start. Finch confirmed that four fast bowler and one spinner will play. That's for the, that's probably, Rowan Coley, 1.41 billion versus 26 million. Hasn't necessarily been that good an equation in the past. And I would argue that you can't judge that because realistically, Australia pound for pound have got better players, pound for pound. But India, sheer weight of numbers, have got great players. So you would argue that Australia can hold their own when it comes to numbers and comparison numbers for sure. Let's get this fork here. Okay. Try to open this up. So we're going to play in a matter of 11 minutes' time, apparently. Let's see how long that will take last. Let's have a look here. A little bit of chocolate. Scoreboard. Scoreboard is warming up. Well, there's crunchy caramel biscuit and milk chocolate. There you go. It's very windy though. Extremely windy out there. Am I in a restaurant? No, I'm not in a restaurant. I'm in a hotel room. Yep. Have you seen any good movies lately? Not really. I haven't been in movies for a long time. Albu Juju, you joined us finally. I'm in the Crown Towers Hotel in Sydney, in an area called Barangaroo. If you saw my other video, guys, I've got a video showing the pool, which I'm really happy about. And yeah, I'm having lots of fun for spot fixing and cricket. Depends what country. Simple as that. Should be the ICC get a hold of the band for a period of years. Which floor? 16th floor, 1-6. Subhash Chandra Bharat, none of your business. I'm here because it's my birthday next Friday. I'll be turning another year older on June 10th. June 10th is my birthday. So that's next Friday, and Saturday I thought, bugger it, I'll celebrate my birthday this weekend. Okay, I had my son here earlier. I had my nephew from Perth, Graham, was here. My son, Christopher. A few more friends will be coming a bit later. Champagne here. Beautiful room. And out in the streets of Sydney, we have something called Vivid. If you Google Vivid Sydney, VIVID, Sydney, you'll see what I'm talking about. This event is a great event. I'll just show you a photo. If I'm going to grab a photo of it. Oh, okay. Vivid, here we are. Vivid Sydney. You see Vivid Sydney. That's where I am now. That's where Vivid Sydney is what I'm enjoying. So yeah, I'll be turning. There's like all this going on. All these little designs on the street and this building, some colour. The Crown Casino, that's the hotel I'm in. What restaurant I was at earlier. There it is there, see? So it's my birthday. It's also Vivid. Yeah, at least the rain's going to It's a beautiful, clear day today. Go and look at my video that I released prior to this video that I'm doing now. It shows exactly the surrounds that I'm talking about. So we've gone 23. So we're going to have 7 more minutes before play starts. Let's have a look here. There we are. We've got Anderson's out there with his jumper on. Thank you, Paul Newman. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you. I'm very disappointed with the Australia Cricket Board. Big fan of Steve Smith. He doesn't make any mistakes in 2006. Norman, every team does it, but Australia bans him for a year. Shame on Australia. Yeah, okay. I can see what you're getting at there, Ryan Cole. It is, but it happened. It's no longer worth talking about. It's past, but they haven't regained the form they had before, and that's the real issue here. Okay, so I'm looking at the views of Lords and the so-called JP Morgan Media Centre there, and the two new upper level decks side by side. Now we've seen the batsmen coming out with Mitchell on 97 and, of course, Blundell on 90. These two guys score centuries. They realise the significance of that, especially at Lords, getting your name on the boards to have won a test, to not only won a test match, but to actually be playing on. This is amazing. Now we've got, it looks like, is that Sebastian Coe? If I'm not wrong, Sebastian Coe is about to ring the bell. Blundell number 66. And it'd be nice to see these two guys get centuries. One on 97, one on 90. Restart lunch, exactly. Restart time is 11:30, which is still 5 minutes away. Lunch is at 1:30. So we'll go till 10:30 Australian time. There we have it. Right. Broad still is already out there. It's called them Crown Towers, Melbourne, big one. Yeah, so here we are. We're going to be seeing a match in only a matter of some 5 minutes' time. You can see who's on the top corner there, who's directly above there. We have a picture of myself at Watson's Bay Doyle's, and it was with Sachin Tendulkar, and that was back in 2015. So that's well over 7 years now, getting on to 7.5 years. So South African fan duplexes does it in, but South African Cricket Board doesn't ban him. Waka Young South African Afridi of Pakistan doesn't see. Okay, you could go on with that one. I can understand. Coding Shiksha. Norman, please name the semi-final lineup for the T20 World Cup in Australia. Your top 4 teams also predict a champion. Well, Australia's going to be there. I would argue India probably will be too. I'm thinking Pakistan for some reason. They like Australian conditions. I would like to say New Zealand as well. And that would be my 4. Australia, India. Australia versus, say, Pakistan. India versus New Zealand. Australia beats Pakistan. India beats New Zealand. Australia, India final. And the winner is, what's your thoughts? Is your iPhone an iPhone 13 Pro? Yes, it is. Is the Crown Tower the tallest building in the city? Not quite, but we're well up there. Is your iPhone, would you recommend it? Yes, I would. I would say it's worthwhile getting, for sure. Absolutely. So we're now some 3 minutes from start. And we will be watching the match with great interest, won't we? New Zealand, England, India, Pakistan, you reckon? So the only difference, you've got England instead of Australia now. I think England will make it. Australia's in there. India, England, 5. That's what I think. Well, Australia's like brilliant squad. They won't easily walk up. Well, you'd think that they've got a great chance. It's at home. They've done very well at home, as they have done overseas. So you would think that the chances are pretty good. An interesting fact I got to know today, Norman. So Donald Bradman is the single most impactful player across all the teams. It's true, Himana. That's exactly right. He was the best sports person ever in any sport, statistically, against any sport ever. If you talk to Jack Nicklaus or Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods, they will actually say to you the best ever in the world is a man called Sir Donald Bradman. New ball after the rains. This will be an interesting session. Well, the main thing is these two get centuries. That's the primary thing they need to do. And they score another 100 runs or 50 to 100, maybe even only 50, but 100 runs. What score of over 300? They're going to win this match. I can't see England doing better than that in Arsenal, to be honest. Terence Allman. Himanshu Rahali. I thought India needs to win against Pakistan first. Well, that's one thing for sure. Rafael comes close here. They'll win the French Open again? Yeah, I think he will. Australia, didn't he already win the French Open? I thought he already won. Australia will win the World Cup in 2022. In Australia, India are new chokers at World Cup. No, I don't agree with them being chokers. No, I don't agree with that at all. No, I don't agree with that at all. So we're seeing Stuart Broad, with 500 plus wickets. Anderson 640 plus wickets. It's just ridiculous. Their records are just phenomenal. It's a revised session times. We've already talked about that. With the team starting in only a matter of 1 minute, the players are out there now. The delivery is about to be bowled. With Blundell on 90 and Mitchell on 97. These two would dearly love to score hundreds at Lords. Why? Because you get your name on the board for one, and you're immortalised as a centurion on this ground. And a lot of players that haven't done that. I think Ponting's one, Hayden's another. There's quite a few. I think even what's his name from South Africa, the famous batter. I should know his name. Who was he? The famous all-rounder from South Africa, Jacques Cullis. So Sunday, Nadal versus Rod. Okay. Nadal will win that easily. Your next upcoming close, I'll see in the future. I've said Jason saying a many a time. I'm in India on new choices of world. Choices or chokers? Choices. Okay. Blundell is about to face from the JP Morgan end, the media centre end, coming into bowl he will be at the members pavilion end. South Africa is also dangerous team for Australia. Yeah, South Africa is, but not too much, especially not in Australia. It won't be much of an issue there, I don't think. Here we are. Broad's coming into the first delivery of the morning's play. Blundell he's pet now. It seems to go on the bat. If Blundell and Mitchell can get through this session, they only need one needs to score 10, one needs to score 3, and they've got their hundreds. They've done their job big time. Norman, I think you love Jason. I don't love Jason saying, I know he's a good player. Scoreboard is 4 years younger than Anderson. He can take more wickets than that. Possibly. You think Anderson will go past 700 wickets? If he plays until next season, very good chance. Chokers and chokers. Would you regard Anderson as the best ever pacer? I would say so, yes. Here we are, Broad coming in again. Broad has a great length. Great length. No chance of South Africa. Virat is the biggest choker in the world. No, that's being too hard on him. He's an absolutely sensational player. We all know that. We all know that. We all know that for sure. Let's just have a look here. Okay, let's have a look here. So what do we got here? Anderson has 120 tests. Can he break 10 or 200 test record? He'll go close. I would still pick McGrath over Anderson. Well, McGrath's got some better stats in certain matches, yeah, but Anderson's proven to be a better bowler. There we are. That's a lovely shot from Blundell. Looks like he's hit it beautifully through the covers with a very nice clear bat. He hasn't got 4 though. He'll get probably 3. Blundell moves to 93. Very nice drive, actually. Nicely played, nicely timed. Beautiful. These guys have played in conditions in New Zealand. They know these wickets. They're very similar to New Zealand. He's on 93, Blundell. Collectively, these two batsmen need 10 runs to get them both to centuries. The partnership is 183. Impressive. Mitchell's about to face on 97. Let's see him club a 4. Norman, India lost to Australia in the semi-final in 2004 in World Cup, lost to New Zealand in 19 World Cup semi-final, lost to New Zealand in the World Cup Test Championship following the mathematician. No, I don't agree. I don't agree at all. He's got it through the gap. Mitchell, that looks like it's on this way. He's at least, no, he's going to be getting his 100. Daryl Mitchell's about to score 100 at Lords. He will be ecstatic. He is super ecstatic. He's super ecstatic. Look at him. He's scored 100 at Lords. Brilliant. Brilliant. Daryl Mitchell, good. He must be extremely happy. 100 at Lords. Big effort. His name's on the board now for sure. Mitchell has etched his name in history. Classes, yeah, maybe Baran, but it's a bit late though because one's scored a century, the other one's on 93. They've both done fantastically. Great 100, yes, it was very much so. McGrath, PSC has got good figures, but Henderson's doing pretty well too. Darryl Mitchell must be extremely big sigh of relief there, and deservedly so. Now let's get Blundell across the line, and they've done their job. Then they've done their job. Okay. I can't drop Virat Kohli because I'm not a selector. It will not happen in the near future. I don't think. He's still got a lot more to offer, don't you why? So's his chocolate. Yep, Suman, I think you're right. Dustwin is called Ashmont is called club. There you go. I like that. I do like that. Dustwin. Darryl Mitchell. Take your hat off. Brilliant effort. How was that involved in Australia or in the pub? Anderson's done okay in Australia, especially more recently. He didn't start off well. India, he's been okay as well. Everywhere else in the world, he's done fantastically well, including South Africa, I believe. Mitchell's scored his century now. Can relax and potentially really power on. It's his second test, 110 matches. Second new ball has been taken, which won't be a negative, I don't think. And this is coming on now. You would think so. At least 300 would be pretty close to enough. I think 350 will clinch it. There's a chance of Peter Hansen to come back on the side. No, not in any hurry. He had 2 or 3 goes. Didn't succeed enough, I'm afraid. He's a bit on the outer. These two, Mitchell's just the person doing that. Man on 100 facing a new ball. He's a perfect man to be there. And if Blundell can get his 100, these two could go on and go a long way. Yeah, Samantha Shastri's right. I think that above 325 is a dead. It's a loss to anyone you would think. But there's still got a little bit of way to go. There's still 242. They could be scheduled for less than 250. No, I don't think so. That. Mitchell gives the strike back to. No, he doesn't. Doesn't have the Lord's central, but Darryl Mitchell has. How crazy is that? Yeah, it is that. I thought he was awesome. He was awesome. And it is a match-winning partnership tournament. You're right. New Zealand will win. I think that's a fair conclusion. We weren't saying that after day one, were we? Very impressive Mitchell. He's looking solid as a rock. He doesn't look like he's going anywhere. Not going anywhere. Okay, let's have a look at what's going on here. Mitchell on 100. He seems to be well on the front foot there. He has played some brilliant innings against the Indian Test Series last win. Yeah, look, he has played well, but he hasn't played consistent enough or long enough in that form. In fact, he's lost 14 consecutive Test matches in Australia. Yeah, that's pretty hard for them. It is pretty hard for them to win in Australia, but they are a good side. I've got a lot of time for them. Ball's jagging around, but the batsman just letting it go. My son from the rain is saying that England now have become a laughing stock with so much money they can't produce good and fit bowls. Well, fitness has always been an issue. Well, it seems to be satisfied and unhappy if he soon beats him. You're talking about McCullum and Ben Stokes. I want to see. I want to see Blundell get his century. That's what I want to see. I think England county championship are in big trouble because no coming players do well in English. So do you think county? Yeah, that might be an idea. Pakistan compared their players. Well, Pakistan look. They've got a great squad of players. Don't you worry. Let's not take that away from them. England are relying too much on Broad and Anderson. They did pretty well in the first innings, I'll tell you. There's nothing wrong with the way they played in the first innings. They're bowling well now, actually. Blundell's got himself a single. He's on to 94. He's only 6 away from a century. These two men getting centuries is a huge deal. Huge, huge, huge deal. Yeah, Match Potts has done very well in this match. He certainly has. So look at that. 14-1, 15-13, and then all of a sudden 194. Amazing. Sort of to Grunholm, Jamieson, Southey, Patel, and Bolt to bat. A heap of batting left, really. It seems like there's gaps everywhere at the moment. With the new ball, they've played a very attacking field. These two batsmen are batting like they've been there for a long time, which they have. Mitchell hitting a forward and having no issues at all. This is quite a powerful performance from New Zealand, really. At least you look like they could go on and score even more runs. And that's the danger for England, I say. The ball's not a bad ball, but it was just beautifully played. Squeezed, they'll squirt it out there on the offside. On the front foot, very importantly, and went for it, and he made mismet it. Well, the only team who can lose even after the rest of the team to 140 can be England. Yep. I think Stark is going to be lethal. Okay, I don't think so. I actually don't think Stark's. I think Stark's best is well behind him now. My honest opinion. Let's see Blundell get 100. We've got Mitchell at 104 now. Blundell's only 6 runs from his century. These two are really showing England something or two. Massive batting performance. There we are. Mitchell says a beautiful ball on the leg side. I think last time when Australia toured Sri Lanka in 2016, they won the Test Series 3-0. But it was a lot closer than that. I was actually there for that series. And the match at, where was that? I think it was Palakella, if I'm not wrong. They were very close. And they actually lost that match, Australia. So I think it was 3-1 or 3-0. Anyway. I was there for that series. Batting circumstance is unique and it's successful. I don't know why Tom Hane's not so. I think Harry Brook is the person. Harry Brook is the man that you should be looking for. So I'm sure the Blundell wants to crack a 4 or a 6 here and get this over and done with. Mitchell can very happily say his name's on the board now. Blundell's very competent. He can actually open the batting, as we know. And he has actually opened the batting for New Zealand and has actually done very well. He's 94 at the moment. And he's the keeper. Brilliant compared to all the other batsmen they've signed so far. He's taking his time. He's in no rush. This is only day 3. That's Sebastian Coe there. Not sure who he's with. It's Sedona versus National. Who was better? I'm afraid to say Bradman. I think it was Australia side is better than the 6 and Test side. Yeah, maybe not. Stark has around 600 international West. 600. Yeah, he's got a good record, fair enough, but he's not at his best. Just saw the video, and if you were in the pool, hope the water wasn't too cold. The pool actually was 28 degrees Celsius. It was bloody perfect. Bloody nice. It was very nice indeed. One bad haircut. I haven't had my hair cut. I just had a wash and a shave. Now that's off Anderson. Mitchell's got another, at least a couple. There, so New Zealand 250 before. Remarkable. Remarkable. Let's be honest. Mitchell. It's 251, isn't it? Mitchell, 100. There we are. Comments. Without Stark, they can't pull more than yeah, that's 2015. That's 7 years ago. We've talked about it before. Read my previous question in full. Okay. I did read it. Stark is around 600 international wickets, 2 consecutive World Cup highest wicket taker, 1 man of the tournament, 2 the World Cup, 1 15 and 21 World Cup. Why is he not better than Johnson? Just my thoughts. Mitchell Johnson was a better bowler. He may be involved in not as many World Cup wins or what have you, but he's a better bowler. Simple. Okay. Four for 251. Mitchell 108. Blundell still on 94. He's just hit the ball. He's been very cautious, Blundell. Maybe getting a bit of the heebie-jeebies about being close to his 100. I'm going to wait until Mitchell scores his 100. That's what I'm doing. It's now 8:47 Australia. Blundell seems to be a bit cautious, which is not a bad thing. He's 94. He can take his time. Anderson seems to be doing as best he can, but can't penetrate. Beautiful ground, Lords. Beautiful ground. The old pavilion around both sides. They've got great members sections of stands. They've got, of course, JP Morgan Media Centre. They've got areas of stand. We can see great vision from all areas. Great place. Maybe Stark is a better white ball bowler. Johnson's a better red ball bowler. Perhaps. Glenn McGrath said that Stark is a bowler who can take wickets in any pitches. Yeah, I'm not saying I should underestimate Stark, but I don't think he's going to be the pivotal player. I'm telling you now. Come on, Blundell, score his century. Of course, Rowan called out that. You're right. Absolutely. We all know that. No one doubts that. Come on, let's see Blundell score his 100. This 5th wicket partnership of 195 now. Pretty phenomenal considering teams didn't even score that as totals in the first 2 innings. Mitchell seems a little bit more relaxed. Well, he's actually got his century, hasn't he? Let's see. Zimbabwe will tour Australia in August for 3 days, correct? Not a great series, let's be honest. Australia won 8 ICC trophies, and India won 9 ICC trophies since then. It's better size. They still are. Trying to work out Greg Valve. This is a great. Let's just see how we're going to go with this whole. I'm just looking at some stories here. Sorry, guys. Should Ben McDermott make the match against? Well, wait and see. India has an anchor and a Kohli. He's a great player. Much worth. Yeah. India has an anchor. Okay, Norman. I don't think this position in New Zealand will lose. I agree. I could not. Totally agree. Mitchell's just got now. Court folks bought Broad. He got his century though. He'd be happy about that. But Blundell's got to get his 100 now. But the Granholm can come in and have a bit of a whack. Can't he? Pasquale, what a great. Darryl Mitchell, 108 not out. He got out to a good ball caught by the keeper. Off Broad. Broad's happy. I'm more concerned about getting now Blundell across the line. It was a good ball and a good catch. 3 is the minimum New Zealand need to feel safe. Yeah, they got to get there though. It's going to make it extremely close if they lose a few more wickets now. Australia versus South Africa's great rivalry. Yeah, not as much as it used to be. This is a good ball from Broad. Came in left in. Yeah, it was actually a fantastic delivery. To man 108, pretty good effort. De Grunholm has played 29 test matches, 1,400 runs. Lead is 242. Read my look, Subhash Chandra. Do not say this. I'm sick of this. If you want to read any of your questions, don't talk to me like that. I hate that. 2 questions are too long to start with. Okay, and there's an anchor in Kohli. He's not have an anchor in Williamson. Texas has an anchor in Bumba. Why can't Smith be an anchor for Australia? He's past his best. Simple. Please don't write us long questions. This is a better question. Nice and short. No one's going wrong with England batting. It's mental. The whole thing is mental. We're looking at something here. What happened? They're looking up at the review. I missed the guys because I had to talk to you about me answering a question, Paul. Not happy with that. Let's have a look what happened here. De Grunholm, is he out or not? Is the question. De Grunholm's not going anywhere. They're 5 for 251 at the moment. Let's see what the story is. Has he got himself back in there quick enough? Oh, he's out. Holy smoke. What was he doing? He's out. It beats sound like a test, so they will be there. You can think so. Out. So Grant didn't get to face many balls in that situation. What was he doing? It was awful. What happened there? Run out by Bairstow. So he's got out of his creep. Bairstow's knocked the bails down. For a duck. Let's do this again. But hit on the pad, and then he took his time getting back behind the wicket. That was brilliant work by Bairstow. What is Trans-Tasman rivalry? The Tasman Sea is between Australia and New Zealand. That's what it is, and that's the rivalry between the two teams. It's very hard. You should respect my viewers. You should respect your host as well, not demand to be given questions and read it in full. That's not the way you should talk to me either. That's also disrespectful. So it works both ways. I can't read every question every single time. Okay, Blundell, this is very upsetting for New Zealand. They're looking really good. The Grant gets hit in the pad and he walks it out of his crease, and then Bairstow chooses to run him out. I don't know what Grant de Grandham was doing. Gosh, wasted a wicket. Correct, Paul? Not asking me these questions which are half a mile too long. That's way too long a question. It's way, way too long. And we got de Grandham out for first ball after. That's terrible. Oh my God. And there we are. Jamison's out too. Wickets are starting to fall. They lost 3 very, very quickly. They're 7 for 251 now. Broad's just bowled Jamison, neck and crop. The 100 league in England is just a form of 100. They bowl 25 ball overs. It's pretty ordinary, I think. University of the clash of the times. A wicket, yes. It's terrible. Beaten neck and crop. Broad's not taken 2 wickets this morning. And one of the could have LBW, but it was actually run out. England will win. No, that's too quick. No, it can't be the case. England can fall over just as cheaply, don't you worry. So we've seen Mitchell 108, de Grandham first ball literally moving out of his crease, getting run out. And now Jamison, what was it, first ball for him as well? It was first ball. It's 3 wickets. One's a wicket run out. It's a hat trick, but not a bowling hat trick. This is literally a bowling hat trick. It's probably enough here. 242 is the lead, but England are not able to chase to 30. Well, it's kind of true. There we have it. McCullum's clapping one of his New Zealand teammates getting out. That's rather interesting. This has been a dynamic over from Broad. He's taken a wicket of Mitchell, and he's taken a wicket. Run out of Grandham, and then he's taken Jamison. Now we're on to the last ball of the over, and it could be a fair dinkum hat trick here. Yeah, Blunder will be getting those now. He's going to have to be a bit more aggressive. So Tim Southey's had 86 test matches, 795 runs, average of 16.3, which is awful. 550, he's never got 100. He's a pretty good bat, really. But the way Broad's just going back to the form that we really know now, this is 7 for 251. Jesus. I had a total here of 4 for 251. Now I've got to change that. 7 for 251. Could easily another wicket. New ball does the job for England. Certainly has 4 for 250 a couple of minutes ago. It was. Queen is always on top. No, they're pretty close there. All right, okay. A good over from Brody. 3 wickets fell on that over without a run being scored. 84 overs gone. We've got Blundell on 94. He deserves a century. So they're effectively 242 in front. They're going to need a few more runs. It's just not enough to be certain. We'll give England a sniff. 132, 141, 242. Big changes in that second innings here for New Zealand, but on the back of 2 batsmen, Mitchell with his 108 And Blundell on 94, who hasn't yet scored the 100. Let's get him to 100. We've only been, it's only just half an hour of the day's play gone. We're all over today. There we have it. Blundell's clipped it down the final leg. Looks like he's going to win. Oh, Jesus. Toffee's, it was a leg by, wasn't it? Runs. Well, who's the best batsman in the Australian team? Kawaja. It's 9 o'clock now. Yes, they should. Southeast there. Blundell might miss out on his 100. ICC Tri-Nation tournament, which team would you pick? For what? Well, what do you mean, Ali Shah? Do you mean in terms of a World Cup or a final? Australia, India, and Pakistan. That's what I like to see. That'd be my three. Oh boy! If the ball's moving around this much, heaven help England when they go into bat. That's all I can say. We've got to see a situation where no change. We're coming up with 2 hours, guys. I just want to see Blunder get 100, and then I'll be relatively happy. I think he deserves it. The clouds are certainly clear. Look at that. 14-1, 15-13, 108-94, then duck, duck, duck. 3, 4, 6, 7 horrible scores and 2 sensational scores. Oh, that's good looking. Yeah, good old Southie gets strike 2. Only 1 ball to go. In 2009 World Cup, so they picked Head and Hazelwood. They won the cup. So what? Hazelwood, good player, but not Head. Not a fan of Head. Hazelwood, I certainly am a fan. And spell his name right, Himanshu. That's not the way you spell. Seven for 255. The score is now. Blundell just blocks the last ball. That's not what he wanted. Seven for 255. 246. Mitchell's happy as Larry, as he should be. His team could get a few more runs though. Look, considering all, they're in a great position. Let's see what Southie can do. Don't forget, he's on 132. They've literally doubled their score now. Broad, can he continue to take wickets? Broad's now got 3 for 59. He'd be very happy. How have we gone totals-wise, guys? I'm staying here till Blundell gets his 100. That's what I'm waiting for. And at 7 for 255, let's hope it's not too far away, because otherwise he won't have any opportunity to do so. The 246 in front, 50 runs shy of it being an unassailable lead. Let's say that. This wicket never looked like it was going to get more than 250 for any innings. I'm not sure what Southey's trying to do. Don't give him the ball on the last ball of the over again. It's now 9:04. Which one is your favourite? Tests. All right, Jay. Tests by a country mile. Always Test cricket. Test cricket is enthralling. It's a war of attrition. It's a test of their character, as we know. Come on, Blundell. Very tentative. Very tentative. Very tentative. It's just annoyingly so. He was definitely out. Not out was de Granholm, but he was out of his crease in the end. That was when he blew him. Come on, Blundell. Get your 100. Finish this off. Oops, the ball's popped into nowhere there. No, it's 4. So he's got over the 4 there. For the lead is distinctly 250. So he's played. Hit out or get out is what should happen, and I think it's a bit like that now. Well, they're leading by 250 now, New Zealand, which is commendable. And Blundell's still floating around there at 94. He's been there for 37 minutes this morning, and he has gone from 90 to 94. He wouldn't be happy with that. So he's gone for a big hoik, and he's going to get 4 again. There you go. Some nice batting. Lead 254, Southey on 9. There's 9 runs I'm sure Blundell would have liked to have had. Southey can bat. Let's just see Blundell get his 100. Shall we? Come on, Blundell. Blundell. Come on. Let's go South. How do you get 2 4s? He's done well. Last ball there, but don't get a single. Oh, he almost got out. All right, Blundell. Let's get the long hand. Let's get a 4 and a 2 with him to get your century. 7 for 263 is New Zealand. Literally have, what have they done? They've literally doubled their first inning score. So they're 130 for the first innings, they're now 263. So they've virtually doubled their first inning score now. With 2 batsmen, basically. They scored 200 runs between them. Sundry's extras of 9. His high scores Williamson on 15. He was caught Bairstow bowled Potts. Blundell has been resolute. He's batted for some 39 minutes this morning, only for 4 runs, but he's been resolute. Let's see how he continues to go here. You need an early night before midnight, Blundell. Yes, before midnight, Blundell. He'll do it. He's got 1. Is he going for 2? He is going for 2. And should get it quite handsomely. That's 96. Score is moving along nicely to 265 now. Blundell's on 96 now. He really is in a position here. I've gone 2 hours on my broadcast and we're yet to see Blundell score his 100. We've seen Mitchell get 108. Let's go. Come on. Let's go, Blundell. Lead of 256. It certainly is starting to power along there. Oh, no. Oh, no. He's gone for the review, but it may be fruitless. I think Blundell's gone for 96. Oh, no. That was a good ball. It was very tentatively not, I think, the front foot, was he? Blundell's out. That's just about the end of the innings, isn't it? Let's wait and see now. Let's have a look at. Oh, this doesn't look good. Was there any bat there? Oh, there might have been a little bit of. Third umpire was Paul Rifle, Australian seamer himself. Oh, was there an edge there? Is there an edge? Doesn't look like it. Crap. Beautiful today for him. He's out. Review lost. There is Blundell. See you later. Fingers up. Yeah, Blundell's out. Black Hawk Op, you're 13 years old. Well, there you go. Good on you, Black Hawk Op. But it was still a great innings from Blundell, no matter whether it was not 100, it was 96. He could be upset with himself, but he still did something very important for New Zealand now. They're 256 in front with 2 wickets down. This is a fantastic effort to get to this position. Let's just pitting a century. Mitchell will be upset about that, but he certainly got a fantastic 96. Unfortunately, won't go onto the boards. Bolt, still about and Ajaz Patel, and they've lost 4 for not many this morning. They've lost 4 for not many. That's unfortunate. You might see more of this man when it comes to the bowling department today. 8 for 265. Still 256 in front. Another 20 runs would be good. Yep. They're going to have to slog, I think. Let's have a look. Paul Newman's run. Another 20 runs will help greatly. But in he's played 12 matches for 87 runs, average of 9. Best 20. Not looking very promising, is it? Of course, Sally's still there. Can have a bit of a whack. It's just a good ball. Beautifully angled in. Oh, when it darted, it seamed hugely. Anderson yet again, another wicket. Who's saying Anderson's not good enough? Madness. He's a brilliant bowler. So was Broad. Look at them destroying him again. Another one. That's far too high on leg side for my liking. I didn't say it last as long as that. So 8 for 265. A lead of 256. It's just enough to be enough, or is it just not enough? It's a very hard one to know. It's tantalisingly close. There's enough there for England to win. There's enough there for New Zealand to win. It's going to make it a magnificent afternoon. Well, we've got time-wise, we've only gone 44 minutes. Oh, that data didn't. Hit the seam and jagged back. Very firm. It was impossible to play. It was a wicket that was well deserved by the bowler. And some Misty's run up to me, or was it still in there? He's got Patel and Bolt. Not much batting talent left. Mitchell was obviously disappointed. All right, guys. It's 80-20 New Zealand favour. It is, but they need just a handful more runs to really push that to 90-10. So I was playing soundly. Good night, Paul Newman. I think I'm going to be not far behind you, actually. $9.15. It's going to be quite interesting to see what happens. Match might be over tonight. Well, today at least. You mean when you say today, it's tonight our time, but today their time. Let's just see what's going on here. Ben Stokes is there. 8 for 2, 6 for 5. Solid from Patel. We've all lost a bit of interest here. Now that Blundell got out for 96. England would be relatively happy, but still not sufficiently. But New Zealand doubled their first innings score in their second innings. Can England do that? They're going to need to. But they're going to need to. We've gone 2 hours and 6 minutes, guys. I'm going to just see what happens to the next 87 overs gone. We'll give it the 88th over and we'll finish it for the day, I think. All right. My birthday on Friday, guys. Just to let you know. It's looking like the weather's still a bit overcast there. You've got a very buoyant Broad on Southie on 9. And Southie decided, not going to hang around. I'm going to get a 4 or 6, and he's done exactly the other 4. Well done. Great. It's 260 now. The lead, it's very important. That was a good old alley-oop. Alley-oop. Why are they taking so long to decide that's a 4? He's done it again. And he's going to get away with it. He's getting another 4. This is fantastic batting. 264 the lead. Lead of 264. There we go. $273 their total. 264 the lead. There we have it. Eight for 273. This is 2 4s whacked off this first 2 balls this over. He's done it again. Is he out? Oh, was he dropped? He's dropped. He is dropped. Bairstow, of all people who's caught everything and run out everything, has just dropped a catch. Showing finger problems. Let's have a look where that went. There was no ball by looks things too. And did it bounce? He's going to field. He's damaged a finger there, has Bairstow. Humane, man, what's your favourite place in Australia? Sydney, Australia, no doubt. So they're leading by 264, 30 odd runs, and there'll be 300. It's very plausible here. Board's been hit for 2 balls, then hit, almost caught there. Oh, that went straight through the middle of Southie and got away with it. Leader 264. It's tantalisingly close to a good enough score. 300 would be the perfect result, or at least a very good result. Above all else. Southie's either going to hit 4 or be out. That's what I'm thinking, this ball. Broad is bowl one, but he's squeezed a single there. Oh boy, this is very frustrating to watch from an English perspective, that's for sure. There we have it. 3 innings and a short win well. It will make things difficult, yes. Williams is ticking his nose through the glass window there. 8 for 274. It's 100. Southie 18 not out. Broad through for 76. Leads 265. Let's put that up there. Lead of 265. Who are you shooting for? English? Not necessarily. Neither really. I'm Australian, but I'm looking for good cricket. I do like New Zealand a little bit more, maybe in some ways. Leading by 265, so England got 141, so 282 is their double. And when there's 274, they're going to be after. It's gone just, there's 52 minutes worth of play here. All right. This last over from Anderson, and then I'll be calling it quits for the day. Oh, that was a shocker. Trying to soften up Southie. Leading by 265 is probably enough. You're all right, but getting 300 will psychologically really make it difficult for him. Even though there is still 2 full days of cricket, and now probably more than 2.5, 2 days, 6 sessions, a further 2 today. There's 8 sessions potentially. They're having some fun, I'd say. So, lead of 266. That's pretty healthy. Patel looks very sound. All right. I just say this is the last 3 balls, and I'm heading out the door, okay? At 8 for 275. New Zealand, England will need to get at least 266. In fact, the win they'll get 267 at the moment in time. And it's just taken 2 weeks, I think broad 3. Patel's just got himself a nice little neat little single with my other business trip. No, I'm just my birthday, June 10th. Edit. 8 for 276. Mitchell leading him 267. Very, very, very healthy. Harry Brooks on the field there. He's going to be a future star, they say. 276, 267 lead. 2 balls left in 7 fans. Then I'm calling it quits, guys. Just pushing our first hour's play. Okay, we're really stretching the last ball, guys, and I'm going to say goodbye to you. So view, like, and share my post at Norm Koch, which is my Twitter and my Instagram handle, and Norman Kochnik's on LinkedIn. Also, we have the Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnik, the YouTube channel, which you're watching now. Well, best wishes, big man. What is the 70th? No, I don't think it's my 70th at all. Far from it. Last ball is a short ball, and that's it, guys. See each other tomorrow.